Hi, I'm River. Most people think I'm just a regular IT guy who makes decent money. Truth is, I pull in around $90,000 a month from my cybersecurity consulting business. Yeah, you heard that right. But here's the kicker. My wife Melissa has no idea. When we first got married 5 years ago, I was making good but not great money. Then I developed this security protocol that big companies started fighting over. My income exploded, but I kept it quiet. Why? Melissa had always been weird about money, and I wanted to see if she'd stay with me for me, not my bank account. You need to ask for a raise, River. We can't keep living like this. Melissa was scrolling through designer handbags on her phone while I made dinner. Ava just got back from Bali, and here we are, can't even afford a decent vacation. Ava, Melissa's sister, had married some finance guy and never let anyone forget it. She also constantly took Melissa's side in everything. We went to San Diego last summer, I reminded her, not mentioning the 3-bedroom beach house I secretly owned there. That's not a real vacation and you know it. Later that week, I met my buddy Jake for beers. He's the only person who knows about my finances. Dude, this is getting ridiculous. You're living like you're broke while sitting on millions. What's the end game here? Jake took a swig of his beer. I just need to know she's with me for the right reasons, man. And how's that working out for you? I sighed. Not great. She's constantly writing me about money. Last week, she maxed out our joint credit card buying crap we don't need, then blamed me for not making enough. That doesn't sound healthy, River. Tell me about it. Ava came over yesterday and they both ganged up on me. River needs to man up and provide better, like I'm some failure. The control had gotten worse over time. Melissa checked our joint account daily, questioned every purchase I made, yet never explained her own spending. She'd demand to see my pay stubs but hide her shopping bags. The double standard was exhausting. Last night, everything exploded. Melissa wanted to renovate our kitchen again. We'd need to take out another loan, I explained calmly. We're still paying off the bathroom remodel. If you weren't so useless at your job, we'd have the money. Ava's husband just bought her a Range Rover for her birthday. We can't afford that right now, Melissa. I'm not going deeper into debt for appearances. Her face transformed into something I didn't recognize. You're pathetic. I stood to leave the room, done with the conversation. I didn't see her grab the kettle of water she'd just boiled for tea. The searing pain hit my back before I registered what was happening. As I fell forward, stunned by the burning, I felt her kicks landing on my side. Maybe this will motivate you to stop being such a loser, she spat, standing over me as I curled up on our kitchen floor. That was the moment I knew our marriage was over, and Melissa had no idea what was coming. I spent the night in excruciating pain, sleeping on my stomach in our guest room. The burns on my back blistered, and my ribs ached where Melissa had kicked me. When morning came, I called in sick to work, waiting until Melissa left for her yoga class before making another call. Jesus Christ, River, you need a hospital, not a lawyer. Martin had been my attorney since I started my company 3 years ago. I'll go to urgent care after we talk. I needed your advice first. Document everything, photos, medical reports, text messages, and get separate accounts immediately. I winced as I shifted positions. Already have them. Melissa only knows about our joint account. Smart man, but you still need to move fast here. After urgent care, where they treated second-degree burns across my lower back, I met with Diana, my financial advisor, at her office downtown. Your separate accounts are secure, River. She has no access and doesn't even know they exist. Diana pushed her glasses up and frowned at my careful movements. What happened to you? Melissa happened. Threw boiling water on me last night. Diana's eyes widened. That's not a marriage issue. That's assault. Yeah, I'm figuring that out. Can you prepare a complete financial breakdown? I need to know exactly what I have and where. When I got home, Melissa was waiting, her face a mask of concern that didn't reach her eyes. Where have you been? I was worried sick. At urgent care. For the burns. She crossed her arms. Don't be so dramatic. It was barely warm water. And it was an accident anyway. I stared at her, seeing her clearly for the first time. An accident? You deliberately threw it at me. Oh, please, I tripped. And you're making a big deal over nothing. If you had just agreed to the renovation like any normal husband, none of this would have happened. That night, Melissa's sister called. I could hear them in the kitchen. He's being completely unreasonable, Ava. Acting like I'm some kind of monster when all I did was ask for a simple kitchen update. I quietly started photographing my injuries in the bathroom mirror. The door suddenly flew open. What the hell are you doing? Melissa grabbed for my phone. I held it out of reach, documenting what you did to me. Her face contorted. Delete those right now. No! You think anyone will believe you? That you're some poor abused husband? She laughed, a cold sound that sent chills down my spine. Ava's husband works with half the cops in this city. One call from her, and any complaint you file disappears. I needed better evidence. The next morning, I installed tiny cameras in our living room and kitchen, connecting them to an app on my phone. I can't believe how you're overreacting, Melissa said over breakfast, acting like everything was normal. I've already picked out the new cabinets. We're meeting the contractor Friday. I already told you we're not doing the renovation. Her smile tightened. Maybe you should think about what could happen if you keep refusing me, River. Accidents around the house can be so unpredictable. I nodded calmly while my phone silently recorded her threat. Later, I called Jake. I need somewhere to stay for a while, man. What happened? She threatened me again. I've got it recorded this time. Holy shit, River. My place is yours as long as you need. Does she know? About the money? Not yet, but she will. I'm done hiding. I crashed at Jake's place for the next 2 nights, telling Melissa I had an emergency work project. While she bought that excuse, I was actually building my exit strategy with Martin. The recordings are good, but we need more, Martin said, reviewing the footage on his laptop. I'm bringing in someone who specializes in these cases. That someone turned out to be Carmen, a private investigator with sharp eyes and a no-nonsense attitude. Your wife has a pattern, River. This isn't her first rodeo. Carmen slid a folder across Jake's kitchen table. 2 ex-boyfriends before you. Both filed police reports for physical abuse. Both later dropped the charges. I flipped through the documents, feeling sick. Why would they drop the charges? Same reason most victims do. Manipulation, threats, or they just wanted to move on. But here's where it gets interesting. Both men were financially successful but lived modestly. Sound familiar? She targets men who don't flaunt their wealth, Jake said, connecting the dots. Exactly. And she escalates when she doesn't get what she wants. I closed the folder. What's our next move? I need access to your home while she's out. We'll collect evidence, secure your personal documents, and install better surveillance. 2 days later, I returned home playing normal while secretly preparing to leave. Diana had secured all my financial documentation and transferred funds to new accounts. Did you book that contractor appointment? Melissa asked over dinner, watching me closely. Not yet. Work's been crazy. She slammed her fork down. You're avoiding this on purpose. What's wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with wanting to be financially responsible. Responsible? You're just cheap and pathetic. She stood up, looming over me. My sister's right. I should have married someone with ambition, not some tech loser who can't even afford a decent kitchen. I remained calm, knowing the cameras were recording. Is that why you threw boiling water on me? Because I'm a loser? Her eyes narrowed. I told you that was an accident. Later that night, while Melissa was in the shower, Carmen called. Found something interesting in her email. She's been talking to a divorce attorney for weeks, asking how to get maximum spousal support. She thinks you're hiding money but has no proof. She's planning to divorce me after the kitchen renovation. That's rich. The next morning, I packed a bag while Melissa was at her Pilates class. When she returned, she immediately noticed the suitcase. What the hell is this? Where do you think you're going? I'm leaving, Melissa. This marriage is over. Her face transformed instantly, tears welling up. Baby, please, I know things have been tough lately. I'm so sorry about what happened. Which part? Throwing boiling water on me or kicking me while I was down? She moved closer, voice softening. I've been under so much stress. It wasn't me. I would never hurt you on purpose. We can fix this. Go to counseling. Like you did after hurting your exes? Her expression froze. What are you talking about? Carmen found the police reports. This isn't your first time abusing someone. Melissa's tears vanished. You hired someone to investigate me, you sneaky bastard? I needed the truth. Now I have it. She switched tactics, suddenly desperate. Please, River, I'm truly sorry. I love you. Give me another chance. I grabbed my suitcase. Your apology means nothing. And Melissa, remember how you always complained about my salary? Turns out I make $90,000 a month. Her jaw dropped. What? You'll learn all about it in court. Melissa lunged for me as I headed for the door. You're lying. There's no way you make that much. I sidestepped her, my phone recording everything. Every penny of it is documented. You picked the wrong guy to abuse. 2 weeks later, we faced off in court. Martin presented our evidence. medical records, recordings, and Carmen's investigation findings. Your Honor, we request an emergency restraining order based on clear evidence of physical assault, Martin stated, playing the kitchen footage. Melissa's fancy attorney objected. This recording was obtained without my client's knowledge. Single-party consent is legal in this state. The footage stays, the judge replied. When we reached financial disclosures, Diana dropped the bomb. Mr. River Clark's monthly income averages $90,000, with current liquid assets exceeding $4.2 million. Melissa and Ava both looked like they'd seen a ghost. Why wasn't this income reported previously? The judge asked. It was, Your Honor. Mr. Clark filed separately, which is perfectly legal. Melissa turned red. He's been hiding millions from me. I deserve half. Actually, Martin countered, given the documented abuse and the prenuptial agreement Mrs. Clark signed, she has no claim to these assets. What prenup? I never signed anything, Melissa shouted. Martin presented the document with her signature. Page 4 clearly states that in cases of documented abuse, all financial claims are forfeit. The judge granted the restraining order and scheduled criminal assault charges. Melissa faced up to a year in jail. Outside, Jake waited with coffee. How'd it go? Better than expected? You should have seen her face when the real numbers came out. My phone exploded with texts from mutual friends that evening. Dude, is it true you're secretly loaded? Why didn't you tell anyone? I responded to a few close friends with the truth. By the next day, Melissa's lies were falling apart. Even Ava called, suddenly friendly. I had no idea what she was doing to you. We could talk about this over dinner sometime. Not interested. Goodbye, Ava. Melissa eventually took a plea deal, 6 months jail time with 5 years probation. I sold our house and moved to my San Diego Beach property. Any regrets? Diana asked during our quarterly meeting at my new home office. About the marriage? Many. About how it ended? None. She's been trying to contact you through her lawyer again, and she'll keep getting the same answer. There's no forgiveness here. The scars on my back had healed but remained, a reminder of who Melissa really was. I'd gained something more valuable than revenge, freedom from someone who saw me as nothing but a meal ticket and punching bag. My new life was peaceful and mine alone. No more hiding, no more walking on eggshells. The sweet justice wasn't just exposing Melissa, it was reclaiming my life and never looking back. That's the end of River's revenge story. What would you have done in River's position? Kept your wealth hidden to test your partner's loyalty, or been honest from the beginning? Was his deception justified, or did it contribute to the toxic dynamics in their marriage? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you forgive someone who physically assaulted you if they apologized? Or do you believe some actions cross a line that can never be uncrossed? If you enjoyed this story of justice served cold, hit that like button and subscribe for more revenge tales that'll have you cheering for the underdog. New stories drop every day, and your support helps this channel grow.